It happened again. He was running home again. Izuku ran home from the Dagobah. It was happening again. He couldn't let it happen again. The last time something happened, someone almost died. He proceeded going to entering his house as apartment that his mother and him lived in, going through the cabinets and quickly at a pace that was shocking for, well, a boy like him, going through medicines, as seeing the medicine that he needed as he proceeded to pop 2 pills in his mouth, 2 tablets, as immediately drinking it down with water, sighing as he looked down at himself, his hands. They were covered in dark black patches of scales, so large claws, as the dark patches of, well, scales and claws would vanish. It was just, he was terrified. He was terrified of what he saw. That was not what he wanted. That was not planned. Power because of cost. And that's justice. He just doesn't have that cost. His quirk. What is his quirk? Well, that's quite simple. He can transform into several dragons or several dragons, more technically several dragons and like a dinosaur and a wolf type of creature. It's hard to explain, but they're monsters. Alright. They more likely turn him into the monster. They have separate personalities. He knows that. Because he knows it because his mind kind of builds off of it. It's like his own personality, but it's melded with them. But it's not himself. It's not him. It's more like it's a part of like inner emotions. It's not him, but it's him. But he doesn't believe so. He simply wondered, nah, never again. The last time he allowed his quirk to run rampant, he almost got Kachon killed that day. And Kachon didn't even know what he was. And that's why he never told him what he was. That's why he always said he was quirkless, but yet he wasn't. Sighing as he decided to just continue what he was doing. His plans still stay the same. He would complete the beach in 10 months. Then he'll get All Might's quirk. Then we'll see how far I'll go. I will become someone of peace, I promise that. I'll become the one here, I'll smile just like All Might. 10 months later, after the entrance exams, failure. Utter failure. Could he really say that he passed with flying colors? No. It was trash. Someone better quirk, with a weaker quirk, could do better than him. He has the most powerful quirk, All Might's quirk, and yet he couldn't do one single thing. All he could do was attack an obstacle. That's it. And with all that power, he couldn't do anything with it. The opposite to nothing. A waste. Maybe Kachan was right. He's just a worthless deku. But a part of him felt. Different parts of him felt those words were disgusted. Some parts of him were angry. Other parts just wanted to tear those who said limb from limb. And other parts just scowled at it. He didn't know how to feel about it because he felt separate. He sort of thought, they're coming back. Great. Zuko simply wondered. He's just fine. Nothing else. As long as he stays fine. He takes the meds, everything's okay. His mother never knew about his biological quirk. Because he never wanted her to know about what it is. Flashback. And it was after Katsuki pushed Zuko away from that day. Zuko tried being helpful to Katsuki. giving him a hand, but Kasi pushed him away, saying how he didn't need help. As the children proceeded to leave Izuku behind, while the boy was followed. But as he would walk through the forest, he'd find that it was getting darker and darker. He didn't know where he was. What is this place? He's lost. And it's not good being lost in a forest. He simply started to whimpering that he needed to find his way home. As he heard a twig snap, the boy looked around. Hello? As he would simply say, Katron, is that you? He would look around yet again, as he would find large eyes looking at him from the darkness. Katron? The eyes got closer, and he heard something. It was like talking, but it didn't sound like talking. It sounded more like growling. Like really loud and big, and something came out the bushes in the brush. A large bear. The bear would roar. It was loud. Izuku's eyes would widen, seeing this, horrified. Izuku proceeded to shake in fear. This bear, whatever it was large, big, scary. He proceeded to drop down, taking a few steps back. As the bear would get closer and closer, lifting up its large paw, swiping at Izuku. Izuku tried to run, as it would get him in the back, carving a huge scar on his back, as seeing him flying back, as crashing as the bear would make his way forward. He was completely terrified. No one was here to save him. No one, not even All Might, no one. He was terrified, scared. Somebody, anybody, please. The boy even felt worse that he didn't have a quirk to defend himself. No power of his own. I'll do anything. Please, just give me a chance. As he felt it, he felt himself change. His body was pretty grow larger. To the size of not the same size as the bear, but his body grew, getting larger as he proceeded to grow wings and a tail and a reptilian-like head with horns and with porcupine-like needles going down his back. As he was covered in all this, he'll be a small black dragon. The black dragon would simply growl. Izuku felt himself. He knew what he was now. I'm a dragon. Immediately he started to what was going on. The bear roared, intimidating the boy as Izuku simply roared back. His roar was more ferocious than the bear. The bear was not going to back down. The bear ran at him. He ran at it. They clashed. They proceeded to tussle as Izuku got around the bear's neck easily, clapping his jaws tightly, squeezing the life out of the bear. And before he knew it, the bear was dead. He was covered in its blood. The gnashing, the biting, the clawing. He lost himself. And Izuku became wild. He proceeded to go around running, killing things around, left, right. Flashback end. There was more times where he just appeared in the forest in different forms. There was just one time when he was 8 that he appeared as he changed into his red dragon and just simply killed these wolves. didn't spare one. There's this other time where he was his dinosaur and he just ate everything in his vicinity. He was close to killing a person that day, which he knew that his quirk was violent, dangerous. All the dragons that he knew that was within him. There was one that he pretty much almost killed Kachon. That big white one. That scared him. That day he felt like he almost gave in to everything. Sighing as he knew that it was over for him. He just needed to wait. And just tell him to take back his quirk, I guess. But when the boy was shocked by, what came out the envelope after 2 weeks, he was accepted to the UA, the hero course. He actually had a chance, a shot of becoming a pro hero. He smiled, finding it helping. He had a chance to be what he wanted to be all his life. A hero that smiled, had a smile on his face, showing that everything was okay. And that shot was given to him. When Zuko arrived at his class, he was more than panicked. The boy was not. Say, the girl he saved from last time you saw her was adorable, cute, attractive. Then they were told by Shoto Aizawa to meet him outside for a quick assessment test. Simply as Aizawa would simply say, going off as telling them all to basically, use their quirks. Bakugo gave a good example because he was number 1, throwing the ball in the sky, screaming out die with an explosion. That felt entertaining. It looked fun, as one student simply says. Izuku knew, though, it might look fun, but it wasn't. Not when you're at the other end of that explosion. He shivered, but another side of him growled and snarled in anger. He needs to take his medicine. He needs to take that medicine again. But he shouldn't worry. He has a few more weeks, several weeks or a month, until he needs to take it again. Izuku felt and he knew better. So he proceeded to do his best, not using one for all at all. But when it came down to the ball throw, Aizawa told him to use everything. Izuku threw the ball, throwing it into the air. Simply, he did. He got his regular score. 100-something meters. 10,000-something meters. It was slightly better. Was it slightly better than 8,000? Not 6-something meters. It was lower than Kachon's, but it was better. And he didn't completely destroy his whole arm. Aizawa smiled. Simply, he allowed him to continue. At the end of the class, it was, something. Nezu would bring in Aizawa. Simply said, Aizawa, as Nezu would say. What? You have a student named Midori here, right? Yes. What about it? His mother gave us some information. From that, Izuku wanted to keep held back. And what's that? The boy has another quirk. A dual quirk. Super strength, and he has I could say more likely a dragon quirk, or she precisely says a monster quirk. She calling his quirk a monster because he can change into creatures. No. That's the thing. That's what his quirk is. Monster. There's. She said that there is no explaining it. He's trying to keep it from her, but she knew better. She sedated him one time before and took him to the quirk doctor. It was a time where he wasn't conscious, and she found out his quirk. And she was surprised. She knew that he was fearful of losing himself. So he's afraid of his own quirk. When the doctor says that the boy can lose himself, he can actually lose himself to his quirk. Lose all sense of humanity. At those times, he becomes an animal. Nothing more, nothing less. There's nothing left of humanity within him if that ever does happen. We need him to be comfortable being himself. And I need you to do that. Encourage him to use his power, his birthright, freely. I can do it the best I can, his all simply says. Good, as Nezu will simply nod. Now, go on. As Nezu would understand and nod. This will also be told to All Might. All Might was given this information and simply wondered why Midoriya would keep this from him. But now he would think about it. If he was with Midoriya and his court basically did this to him, he probably wouldn't be fond of it at all either. Of the fact that it can basically make him a wild animal. Okay, maybe he can see the reason why Midoriya pretty much hid it from him. It was that time. Heroics class. It was the best moment of his life. He had his costume. His mother made it for him. It was great. It was a green texture that looked like All Might. He was happy. And they were ready. They were all ready to go. And simply what happened next would be a shock. Izuku's against Kachan. Izuku looked at Koski, seeing how the boy's palms would cackle of explosions. Izuku was fearful. Izuku put a smiling face, this fearful smile on his face. Koski was scowled at this. But then what Koski saw shocked him. Izuku's eyes would change from emerald green to an orange, like fiery red. The eyes would shift. And his face would completely change with a face of like anger and rage. His teeth would become longer and sharper, like fangs. His facial expression showed anger, hatred. Koski was surprised it's in a blink moment that it appeared, it vanished. Izuku looked at Koski, being shocked, wondering why he was shocked. Was something about his face? No, nothing was on his face. So they started a match. Izuku talked to Uraka. Their plan was simple: get the bomb. Heal over Kachan. She'll go get the bomb, tag it. It was a done match. Izuku would proceed to walk through the halls. As him and Uraka would walk, Koski would come in and pretty much do his whole monologue. Still, Izuku was fearful. As simply, he would still say how Deku was the name of a hero that he wanted to be. But a part of him that stood out more to him in that moment, it hated it. It despised it. As simply, he was shocked. He wanted to change the name Deku from being weak and quirkless so he can do it, but And part of him didn't want that. A part of him wanted to be named something else. He doesn't want to be named that name that gave so much torment. He paused at it as simply Koski rushed at him, as simply starting to beat down him. The two will still clash, while Izuku was still trying to evade and dodge. Now Izuku would wonder. Koski always goes for the right hook. Now, grabbing Koski's right hook is proceeding to sumo throw him on the ground, surprising the boy. Their fight would continue on, but something was different. Izuku knew it. He can read Koski's movement a lot faster. He was moving quicker. What's going on? Simply when Koski decided to pull out his gauntlet and pretty much say that he's been storing his nitroglycerin sweats for a pretty while now. Izuku knew the amounts of how they were fighting for a while, has probably had enough nitroglycerin sweat to knock up this whole building or do pretty high damage. And Izuku knew one thing. Bakugo's explosion from that gauntlet is gonna cause major damage. Bakugo pulled the pin, while All Might still screamed at him not to pull the pin, but the brash team still did it. Izuku covered his face as well. He was still alive, but scarred. Part of his costume was torn apart. But he swore he saw silver scales. He's supposed to be seeing things. Koski was simply smile. "What's wrong, nerd?" Grabbing him as he just choke slam into the ground. "You wanna use your stupid quirk? That stupid strength quirk that you got? What's wrong?" as Bakugo simply says. Izuku wanted to still do the same plan as he did, but that probably wouldn't work now. Bakugo proceeded to throw him back as, "Use your quirk, damn it. You haven't used your quirk one bit. You fucking bastard." Izuku knew he had to use it. Treasure went wrong in his arm as he proceeded to rush at Bakugo as Koski would proceed to rush at him. But to surprise, Koski moved faster than before, grabbing his face and proceeding to slam into the wall repeatedly with explosions, throwing him to the side as Izuku would slump. Bakugo was simply put his foot on Izuku's head as he proceeded to grind his foot in his head as saying, "Now that's why you'll always be a deku." Izuku's eyes would widen as immediately his face would start to change. Black scales would to grow as his hands would start to turn. Hands would start to blacken with claws appearing out. Large claws. His back would tear apart the large appendage appearing. A tail ripped out from his waist. His skin darkening as porcupine-like needles would poke out. Two protruding like horns would proceed out of his head as Izuku snarled, "Shut up! You shut up! I hate that name. I hate hearing it. I'm not a quirkless deku. I'll show you quirkless and worthless, you little shit," as Izuku grabbed Bakugo's leg and proceeded to throw him to the side. As Bakugo was surprised by the force of the nerd's throw. Izuku's face would snarl in rage as his wings would open. The large bat-like wings would open with spikes protruding on them as Izuku would smile. "I'm gonna finish you off. I've been waiting for this day." As Bakio says, Scout. Okay, nerd. You've been hiding your quirk. What is this? This is actually my real quirk from the very moment that we were born. I hate this power, but I'm gonna hurt you a bit. Hurt you like how you did to me. For 10, for over 15 fucking years. I'm gonna give it tenfold in 5 minutes. I'm gonna make you suffer. Suffer, you backstabbing bastard. Izuku rushed towards Koski, grabbing him by the head. He proceeded to throw him to the ground, kicking him, punching him, beating him. Bakugo tried to fight back, but Izuku's aggression, his raw physical strength, it was nothing compared to him. Koski tried to shoot an explosion, but Izuku proceeded to grab the boy's arm, squeezing down as he knocked over the crack. Whoops. I'm sorry. Was that important? I sprang him, using a knee in his face, as he proceeded to throw him to the side, smashing him through a couple of walls. Izuku scowled as bringing Bakugo to his face, as he proceeded to throw him into the air, as charging at one for all, as he proceeded to throw his fist up, hitting Bakugo in the gut, as the pressure was still pretty much just rise up as giving us enough debris for Ochako to still do her plan. Izuku would see Bakugo as he'll be coughing. Bakugo will cough with a flop of blood for surprise. The hell? Is this the nerds? What the hell is this quirk? Bakugo will be grabbed by the hair, picked up and slammed into the wall violently. Izuku will be snarled. His beast show physical-like features with a silky smile. Night. Hero team wins, as All Might simply says. And Izuku stopping his tracks. He snapped back into it. What? Izuku was shocked. Wait, he remembers. The hero trial, the bomb, the Chaco, Uraraka, Ida, everything. Izuku looked at Koski, how he saw how bruised the boy was and how his woe. And how he pretty much fucked him up badly. He proceeded to take a few steps back in surprise, looking at Bakugo's wrist, seeing how he properly broke it. Izuku was shocked. He proceeded to hold his head, saying, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I swear. He stopped immediately, his feelings in his head, his back, and his lower body. Looking at it immediately, seeing he was a black tail. A black tail with a tipped dagger end with spikes protruding off of it. Looking at his hands, seeing they're black, again with claws, horns, wings. Shit. No. This can't be happening. This can't not be happening. How could he forget? He let his quirk get out of hand. He let this thing take control of him. No. And he showed it to everyone in the school, everyone in his class. Izuku started panicking. As All Might was saying, Midoriya, calm down. As Izuku's features returned back to normal, as they would proceed to go to recovery girl, as well, things were different. Izuku wanted to tell Bakugo Kachan about All Might's quirk. He wanted to. That was his plan. He saw Koski walking. He was about to say about to call out for him, but he didn't. He stopped. Looking at his hand, seeing how his nails were claws, he He was shocked. Shit. Simply as he now needed to get home. Now. He should be proceeded to make his way towards the train. As Ito was stopping. Midoriya. That was something, isn't it? Huh? Rock would follow along with Sue. What are you talking about? Your transformation. It was impressive. So Izuku wouldn't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Rock says, but Deku, it was amazing, she simply says. Izuku flinches at the name. As immediately, his voice would change from a snarling voice. Don't ever call me that name. I hate it. Izuku's features would change back to normal. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Chaka was blinking, but you said you liked the name. I need to go home. The boy was going to run away, running off to the train. He needed time to think. The moment he got home, he proceeded to look through the cupboards and cabinets. Where is it? Where is it? He looked everywhere. They weren't there. Where were the meds? Izuku has inconsistent. Says, not now, Mom. I'm looking for things. Izuku, I think it's time you stop taking them. He froze immediately. The boy turned, seeing his mother. She had the meds in her hand. It was suppress quirks. It was meant to suppress mutation quirks. Or, any quirks, really. Izuku blinked. Then Ghost says, no more. She simply threw them out the window, throwing them as the tablets would dropping out as she would proceed to throw the bottle out the window as you don't need those. You hidden your quirk long enough. I'd let you take those medicines because I hope that you will feel better, confident enough to tell me about your quirk, to tell me the truth, but for 10 years, over 10 years, you didn't tell me. You knew? The boy says. Of course I knew, Izuku. I had someone check up on you, and they told me what your quirk was and what it could do. If you know what that thing, what it could do, then you would let me continue. Not at your expense of your own happiness. You're not happy. You're far from happy. Look how miserable you look. You're scared, terrified of your own quirk, your own birthright. Something that was born with you. You're not mental. You're fine. You're perfect the way you are. And there's no need to hide it. I don't feel comfortable, Mom. I don't. Please. You go to say it with a straight face. Not anymore. Izuku's face would turn away, a simple scowl. He proceeded to walk towards his room. It was the next day. What happened was surprisingly something happened with the crowds of people appearing in UA, asking for All Might. He was shocked still, Why wouldn't he be? Zuko blinked. Well, that was something. They were going on a trip to USJ later today. Simply it was designed to be that way. Izuku simply sighed as, the time was over and they got ready to go. As they all packed on the bus, Ito was trying to get them all to go in an orderly fashion, but that didn't really work out. Izuku would think to himself, How could I let this happen? Looking at himself as he proceeded to have gloves on, he didn't want to see what he was becoming, what it did to him, what it did to Kachan. Everyone be talking about their quirks until Suyu pretty much came in as Midori, as she's simply quirked, as Suzuki, whose attention would be pulled towards her, saying, "Huh? Your quirk, it's quite interesting. Uh, yeah, yeah, I guess so. Mr. Asui, but just call me Sue." Ash simply says, "I'm very blunt because of my quirk at times, so your quirk, it seems like you have more than one." Izuku pretty much, shit, I can't tell them a one for all. I have a strength quirk. So you would pretty much, well, that's obvious the way you're using and you use it at the quick examination, but you also had another quirk that we saw at the hero training. Izuku just turned his face away from her and simply looked at the window. I don't want to talk about it. So you wanted to know, and she simply, Midoriya, what's your other quirk? Izuku didn't say anything as the whole class was eyes were on him. He knew they're all they wanted to know. The boy didn't want to say. Why would he want to talk about it? Why would he want to talk about that? Ochako says, "Deku, are you alright?" While Izuku's head turned as yet again the boy would immediately change, like his whole appearance, just like the air around him would shift. Izuku's eyes were cold, and they were the forest green. They were burning with like an ember fire, like orange sunset, or like emerald color, orange emerald, as he was simply snarl, or as his eyes would have a slit within it, a draconic slit. As he simply says, "Yet again, as I say, I don't want to talk about my quirk. I don't. And as I say again, I don't like being called Deku." His eyes would return back to normal as he would blink. There it goes again. He proceeded to put his hand on his head as, "I hate this." Urako was going to say that, and she stopped as pretty much saying how he reacted a few moments ago. He clearly didn't like being called Deku. Kirishima says, "So, Midoriya, your quirk, it seems pretty cool. This is like split personality?" "No," the boy simply says. Kamara says, "Yeah, you showed like wings and a tail and horns. Are you like a devil?" "No," he simply says. Everyone would try to take a guess. As Bakugo says, "A dragon," as Koski simply says. They all stopped and looked towards Koski, the boy who pretty much got pummeled by the boy. Izuku didn't want to look towards Kachan. He knew the boy was sneering. He was angry. He could feel it. He could feel it. It was like waves of hatred burning at him. "It is true, Midoriya," Suyu would simply say. The boy simply shaking his head yes. "You have a dragon quirk?" Kirishima says. "Awesome. So you like Ryuko?" Izuku simply turned his head towards Kirishima, as simply saying, "I'm nothing like Ryuko. Unlike her, she can control her dragon, or if I even call it a dragon, I can't even control them at all. Them, Suyu simply says. Mizuku simply decided these are his classmates. They deserve to know. Suzuki simply says, I can transform into more than one dragon. I can transform into a large 30 to 20 meter black dragon that I call Nergigante, as Suzuki simply says. And that shape, I'm prone to extremely aggressive and territorial, to a point where I can't recognize friend or foe. There's another dragon variant that I call a Safi Jiva. It's a large red dragon that's 30 to 40 meters, large as my Gigante. I can protrude blue fire from my mouth and attack with, fire. And another form I have is, a Volstrak. I can't really breathe fire in that dragon form.